Hey everyone, and welcome back to Whispering Image. Tonight's story is one of those unsettling accounts that makes you second-guess every mundane, late-night shift you've ever pulled. It comes from a viewer named Mark, who worked as a night custodian at a seemingly normal office building. And it proves that sometimes the true horrors aren't in a dark forest or a creaking old mansion, but in the cold, sterile silence of a modern workplace. So find a comfortable spot, turn down the lights, and listen closely. Because the most terrifying things can happen when everyone else is asleep. When I first took the night custodian job at Hawthorne Tower, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. It was a brand new 30-story office building, sleek and sterile, with plenty of work to keep me busy. The pay was good, and the hours were great for my schedule. From 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., it was just me and the building. Or so I thought. For the first month, it was a dream. I'd put in my earbuds, listen to podcasts, and clean. The floors were silent. The air was cool. And the only other living thing was the occasional mouse scurrying by. I got to know the building intimately. The stubborn lock on the file room door on the 12th floor. The loose ceiling tile on the 24th. The way the elevator doors on the 18th floor always shuttered before opening. It was my domain. The odd things started on the second month. Nothing major at first. Just the stuff you write off as a fluke. I'd be mopping a hallway on the 10th floor, and a door to an office I'd just cleaned would be wide open. I'd close it, thinking I was just forgetful, but it would happen again the next night. I'd find an office chair pushed out from a desk, or a stack of papers knocked over. My initial thought was that a worker was staying late, but the security log never showed anyone checked in after 9 p.m. Then came the lights. The lights in Hawthorne Tower were all on motion sensors. A few times, I'd be on the 20th floor, looking down a long, empty hallway, and I'd see a light on the 15th floor flick on, then off, then on again, even though I was the only person in the building. It was like someone was playing a game of peekaboo with me, but from 5 floors away. One night, I was taking the freight elevator down from the 28th floor. The doors closed, and I hit the button for the main lobby. Instead of going down, the elevator began to ascend, stopping on the 29th floor. The doors opened to a pitch-black hallway. All the lights were off, and a chillingly cold gust of air hit me. I hit the lobby button again, but nothing happened. A single, small, bright red ball bounced twice into the hallway, then rolled back and stopped right outside the elevator. It was a child's toy. I froze. The elevator doors began to close, and just as they were about to shut completely, I saw a tiny, pale hand reach out from the dark, pressing the hold button on the outside of the elevator. The doors stopped and opened just a crack. I screamed, hitting the lobby button again and again. The doors finally closed, and the elevator plunged downward, skipping every floor until it finally reached the lobby. I burst out of the doors, gasping for air, my heart pounding against my ribs. I ran out of the building and sat in my car for a full 30 minutes, trying to convince myself I had imagined it all. I considered quitting, but the job was too good to give up. I told myself it was a technical glitch, a malfunction. I was a rational person, and there was a logical explanation for everything. But the logical explanation never came. The haunting became more direct. I'd be cleaning on the 25th floor, and I'd see a glimpse of a small figure, a child, darting down the hallway on the 24th. I'd go down there, and the air would be ice cold, the lights flickering, but there would be nothing, just the chilling silence. I started seeing the figure more clearly. It was a young boy, maybe 7 or 8 years old, with pale skin and large dark eyes. He wore old, tattered clothes, like something out of a sepia-toned photograph. He would never get close, just appear for a second at the end of a long corridor or in the reflection of a window, before vanishing. He looked terrified. I was cleaning the main lobby one night, polishing the marble floors. I looked up at the wall of elevators, and in the reflection of the shiny steel doors, I saw the boy standing right behind me. He wasn't in my direct line of sight, just in the reflection. He raised a hand, his lips moving soundlessly. He was trying to warn me. He was pointing toward the building's central support column, which had a small, discreet maintenance panel on its side. Hey, luxo desperate. I turned around, and he was gone. But his warning was loud and clear. I knew I had to open that panel. I went over to the column, and sure enough, there was a small, unassuming panel. It was locked, but the key was hanging on a hook inside the janitor's closet. I went back, grabbed the key, and returned. As I unlocked the panel, the entire building seemed to hold its breath. The lights in the lobby began to flicker violently, and the quiet hum of the building turned into a low, menacing growl. I opened the panel, and what I saw wasn't a bunch of wires or fuses. It was a series of glowing crystalline tubes, pulsing with a faint, violet light. And in each tube, I saw a face. The faces were twisted in silent screams of agony. They weren't just faces, they were full-bodied people. They were workers from the past, trapped. I saw the maintenance man from the 1980s, the receptionist from the 1950s. They were all there, trapped in this bizarre, technological-looking prison. The building wasn't just haunted, it was a parasite. It was feeding on the souls of the people who worked there. And the child's ghost was trying to tell me to get out before I became one of them. Suddenly, the elevator doors to my right flew open, and I heard a low, metallic groan. The hallway I had just been cleaning on the 20th floor, which I knew was a straight shot to the exit, was now a twisting labyrinth. The walls were shifting, the doors disappearing, and the floors seemed to stretch out into an endless, dark void. The building was alive, and it was sealing me in. I heard a small voice, a whisper, right next to my ear. "Run. Go to the roof." It was the boy's voice. I didn't question it. I ran toward the stairwell, but the stairs kept leading me back to the same floor. The building was mocking me. I had to get to the roof. I ran back to the elevators, hitting the button for the 30th floor. The doors opened, and to my surprise, the hallway was completely normal. The boy's ghost was at the end of the hall, pointing to the emergency stairwell door that led to the roof. I raced past him, my heart in my throat. I yanked on the stairwell door. It was locked. I started to panic. Then, from the elevator behind me, I heard a terrible sound. A low, wet squelch, like something being dragged across a wet floor. I looked back, and standing in the open elevator door was the thing that the building created. It was made of the faces of the people I had seen in the tubes, their bodies contorted and fused together. With the hands of the receptionist, the eyes of the maintenance man, it was a grotesque, writhing mass of human fear. It was the building's hunger, and it was coming for me. I turned back to the roof door, pounding on it with my fists. I was trapped. Just as the creature began to move toward me, I heard a click. The door was unlocked. The boy's ghost was standing beside me, holding up a small, old-fashioned janitor's key. He had unlocked the door. He was a part of the building, a part of its victims, but he had held on to his humanity. I flew through the door and up the stairs, slamming the door shut behind me. I ran out onto the roof, the cold night air hitting my face. I looked back and saw the creature from the elevator trying to break through the fire door, its twisted faces screaming silently. The boy's ghost was standing there, holding the door shut from the inside, his small face etched with a peaceful, knowing smile. He had sacrificed himself to save me. The creature pulled him in, and the door slammed shut. I had made it out, but he was gone. I stood on that roof, watching the lights of the city below, and I knew the truth. Hawthorne Tower was a living thing, a predator that feasted on the solitude and fear of the night shift. I never went back. I never went near an office building again after 9 p.m. But sometimes, when I'm alone, I hear a small, clicking sound, and I wonder if that little boy's ghost ever truly escaped, Or if he's still trapped in that cold, silent tower, a whisper on the night wind, forever warning the next person to come inside. What would you have done in Mark's place? Would you have tried to save the boy? Or would you have run as fast as you could? Let me know your thoughts on this chilling story in the comments below. If this story gave you a good fright, please give it a thumbs up. And for more real-life terror, be sure to subscribe to Whispering Image and hit that notification bell. Until next time, try not to work the night shift. You never know who you might be sharing the building with.